It was the harsh winter of 1959 when a group of 9 experienced hikers led by Igor Dyatlov set out to conquer the Ural Mountains in Soviet Russia. Their goal was to reach Otorten, a peak deep within the range. They had no idea that their expedition would end in one of the most chilling mysteries in history, leaving behind more questions than answers and sparking rumors of something far darker than an unfortunate accident. The storm had already begun to howl as they reached the pass, a remote and treacherous area. It was an ominous place, even without the weather. The air was thick with the weight of the mountains, as if the earth itself was holding its breath. They had set up camp at the edge of the pass, near a large, sloping tree line. The cold was biting, the kind of cold that seeps into your bones and refuses to leave. Around the campfire, the hikers joked nervously, trying to shake off the tension that seemed to thicken the air. The snowstorm had worsened and visibility was near zero, but Igor, the leader, remained calm, giving instructions and making sure the tents were securely pitched. As the wind howled louder, the group huddled inside their tents, grateful for the warmth of their sleeping bags. But something wasn't right. A feeling of unease had settled over the group like a thick, invisible fog. They hadn't seen anything, heard anything, but something was there. Something was watching. Then, it began. In the dead of night, the quiet was shattered by the sound of footsteps in the snow. It wasn't the sound of wind or animals. It was something deliberate. The hikers exchanged confused glances, listening as the steps circled their camp. The sound was too close, too real, to be ignored. They whispered to each other, terrified. Someone suggested it might be an animal, but the footsteps were too methodical, too precise. Then, without warning, the tent was ripped open. One of the hikers, Yudin, who had fallen ill before the trip and had turned back, would later recount the horrors that followed. But the others, they would never have the chance. When the authorities finally arrived at the site weeks later, they discovered the remnants of the camp. The tent was shredded, the hikers' belongings strewn across the snow as if they had fled in a frenzy. But the most chilling part was the tracks they left behind. There was no sign of struggle, no indication that they had been attacked. The tracks in the snow told a different story. It was as if they had walked out of the tent barefoot into the freezing wilderness in a state of sheer panic, some with only their underwear on. The bodies were found in various places around the camp. Some had died from blunt force trauma, their skulls crushed. One hiker had a missing tongue, while another was missing her eyes. But the most disturbing discovery was the absence of any signs of struggle. The bodies appeared to have been placed deliberately, as if someone or something had arranged them. Strange injuries, such as severe chest trauma, were noted, yet no external wounds could be found. Some of the hikers' clothing was found to be radioactive. The mystery deepened as the authorities, unable to explain the inexplicable, began to issue conflicting reports. Speculations began to swirl, ranging from military tests to Yetis and even UFOs. But none of these theories could explain the feeling of dread that had pervaded the place long before the hikers met their grisly fate. Over the years, stories of strange lights and sounds near Dyatlov Pass have persisted. Some hikers and travelers who venture too close to the site report feeling an overwhelming sense of fear and unease. The air around the pass is thick, almost oppressive. Locals speak of something ancient and vengeful that watches over the mountains, waiting for those foolish enough to trespass. But the true horror lies in the uncertainty of it all. The hikers' final moments remain a mystery. Did they experience a psychotic break in the freezing cold, driven mad by fear, or was something truly otherworldly lurking in the snow, watching them? The eerie, unexplained phenomenon of the Dyatlov Pass continues to haunt those who dare to speak its name, and even those who simply hear the story feel a cold chill creep down their spine. The mystery remains unsolved, but one thing is certain: something unnatural watches the pass, and sometimes it is better not to seek answers where there may be none, because in the cold, dark silence of the mountains, you never know what might be waiting just beyond the horizon.